tonight down. Get it on tonight down. Get it on tonight down. Get it on tonight down. Yeah. Get it on tonight down. I had to change my whole clothes set because the storm was so intense. It's still intense right now. It's like still intense, but I'm out of the shit though, so that's what's up. It's intense down. So I froze my Snoopy and Woodstock mug from yeah. Let's cool this beer out. Ding, ding, ding. Cool the beer out. Down, down. Cool the beer out tonight. Cool the beer out. Down, down, down. Dun, dun. Cool the beer out. Dun, dun, dun. Cool the beer out. Yeah. Cool the beer. Cool the beer out. Cool the beer out. We got a little enclave going on over here in the garage. Check this out. Got the enclave. Yeah. Gotta move this shit over. And then kind of post up on the Clorox, bleach. And then we got our chair here. We got here's to you, partner. What's 1958 to 1965? Yeah. 1958 to 1965. This is one of the only things I have besides pictures of, and it's a VHS tape of my first stepfather, Rick Warford. This is it. This is actually a signature piece from his life. Yeah, his signature old beer mug from 1958. How was my first stepfather? He was tall. He reminded me a lot of Chevy Chase. Rick Warford did. Looked a lot like Chevy Chase, actually. And he was tall, he was handsome, he was brash. And he was a welder in Liberty County, Dayton, Texas. That's where we lived in Baytown and then Dayton, Texas, until he died of cancer when I was 10 years old. That's when we came to live with my aunt and my cousin Nathan in Pasadena in 1990, back then. So, yeah. What I like about my first stepdad? Well, I mean, I liked having food for a while until he died of cancer, or he was dying of cancer, and then we got less and less food because he wasn't working. But in terms of his like child raising, he had already had another kid, but a female. So with me, he was like his first like boy, and so he really was. He was a great stepdad. Really, he was a great dad because he would play football and play catch and try to teach you how to be a man and stuff like that. He was good at that. Yeah. I could nitpick like you can nitpick with anybody and point out their faults and where they fucked up and all that stuff, but it's kind of unnecessary with me. I don't really want to talk bad about Ricky. So Ricky Doodah. I guess I'd rather focus on him playing football with me or something like that. Just going fishing with my stepdad on Galveston Bay. Just think about the happy memories we had together, and not like about a time he got pissed at my mom because the gravy wasn't done right or something. Instead of obsess over something that's pointless, that nobody's going to care about ultimately. So, yeah. My mom and stepdad didn't fight often. My first stepdad, and usually their fights were like lover spats. They were just silly. It was just over like cooking or money or some shit like that. Discipline. It was just over the usual stuff that couples fight about, which is money, how they're gonna raise their kids, and yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Get this filled up to the top as the raindrops fall down. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think kids today are really familiar necessarily with Snoopy and Woodstock. Not as much as my generation was with Peanuts. I like that. I like that song. That reminds me of school. The Peanuts and the cartoon characters. That reminds me of being a kid back then. The da 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 da. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. It has that bass line that's like do 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 do. Da na na da na da da da. It's like this amazing song. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. They have that like fucking amazing song, right? I don't know. They come out with new Peanuts movies and they still play it with the Charlie Brown and Snoopy, Woodstock, Linus, Lucy, Peppermint Patty, all the great characters. Pigpen. Was it Sally and Lucy? Yeah, Sally was the blonde chick, right? And then Lucy was the brunette that did the funny comic strip of like counseling for a cent. The doctor is in for psychiatric help. And then Charlie Brown was always not sure of himself, and he was not very confident, and he was like, it's kind of a vulnerable character in the Peanuts comic strip, an interesting character in the cartoons in the comic strip. Oh, that was a good one. Continue with the excellent work, of course, doing God's work, carrying on the adventure. In the garage, in like the chill spot. What was my second stepfather like? He was like kind kind of like, he wasn't really, like, hey, let's play basketball or let's play football or let's play catch. I don't know. He didn't seem particularly invested in me, you know, just in himself. So I guess he was a lot more selfish, or at least it seemed that way. So, I mean, we did a lot of stuff. Yeah, we played basketball, but, with my uncle and my grandpa and other people. So I don't know. I don't think he was really. He was like my second stepfather, the accountant, was like more into his own shit, and then he just wanted to watch TV all the time. He just wanted to, when the bills were paid and when the day was over, he didn't want to deal with my shit. He just wanted to watch fucking TV. So to me, he never had a kid of his own, so he didn't know how to raise kids. So he wasn't a good father or stepfather at all. I don't resent him. I don't hate him for it, but I'm saying he just didn't really give a shit. So that's just what it was. Well, the baby boomers are the last of the television zone outs. So after the baby boomers die, there's no more people that like zoning out on TVs. They might like getting in the metaverse or VR. They might like, getting on the internet and social media. They might like doing other things, playing video games, whatever the case may be, playing around with artificial intelligence, blah, blah, blah. But this is the last generation of TV junkie heads, like my parents and the baby boomer generation. This is the last generation of people that, when they sit on the couch, they just watch TV for hours and hours during their leisure time. This is the last. It's not the last generation that people watch TV. It's just the last generation that's dedicated, that grew up with television, and that is dedicated to traditional television. So this is the last generation that's dedicated to being a TV junkie, being a zone head. This is it. Yeah, I know they have Netflix. I know they have streaming services and all this stuff, but still, it's a box, and you just stare at it for hours and hours, right? That's what television is. Whether it's updated, streamed, computerized, whether it's 5G, whether it's AI, it's still staring at a box screen and hoping you're going to be whisked away to some magical entertainment land where everything's good, where everything's better. So it's still escapism, no matter what. Even if it's the news, even if it's supposed to be objective and raw and real, it's still, even the news is like entertainment these days in a lot of ways. Infotainment, they call it, yeah. So, but actually, I don't find the baby boomer generation, my parents and my aunts and uncles, and the older generations, I find it charming that they grew up with television in the television era, the birth of watching shows and fictional entertainments. I find it charming that they still love to do it, that they're, like, you might find it charming in the days of newspapers. If you see an old man, he gets a newspaper in the morning with his coffee. You might find it charming that an older man has certain patterns and is used to certain technologies and things. And you may just find it charming. You hardly see any old man in the neighborhood picking up a newspaper in the morning like used to, because all the newspapers went digital and they went out of business, and all the printing presses went out of business, and all those people got laid off. They all lost their jobs. The companies folded, right? So that's not something that's a big deal in society anymore, print media. So it's rare you would see like an old retired man today getting a paper that's printed with ink, and then he's got the paper. That's the way he's getting his news, and he's got the coffee and he's checking out his lawn of his house at 5, 6, 7 a.m. or whatever, right? So, yeah, actually, I haven't seen an old man get a newspaper in the morning in a very, very long time, maybe a decade. It's been quite a while. So, the internet killed the newspaper star, as it were. Radio itself kind of survives because there's satellite radio. Radio kind of survives because it's a necessity, even in a society of internet and high-speed communications and 5G and AI and the emergence of quantum computers. Radio is just backup. It's just kind of like, well, if you don't have propane, then you still have fire, or you still have a lighter. It's just the backup technology. It's not meant to be the most advanced or stunning technology. Radio is always supposed to be in case the shit hits the fan. It's like, you know, a lantern, a gas lantern or something. If the shit hits the fan, okay, if the power grid is attacked or something like that, well, what are you going to do? There's going to be no fucking internet. If there's like a World War III or something, you're going to, if shit gets into a dystopia or some kind of new apocalypse, you're going to need radio. It's like poor man's technology, but it's reliable though, is the thing. And so radio will never go away, just as lighters are not going away, just as matches aren't going away. Even though that's not the most superior technology that we have, it's still just baseline useful. So technologies endure as long as they maintain their usefulness. And more advanced technologies may not be available in times of crisis. So although I will admit, during a hurricane or during a major crisis or a winter storm when the Texas power grid is knocked out, sifting through the radio to try to find out the information, even if I go to the AMs, is a bitch because I don't know what the station is to tune into for, you know, general emergency knowledge about, you know, recovery times, leaders, you know, all that stuff you have to sift through. And also, you would have to get through any kind of philosophical commentary, you know. So, like, you might listen to the radio during a major blackout, that a major storm that knocks out your city or state's power for weeks. And so you might have a guy that's kind of like Sam Kinison or some kind of radio personality, and he's like talking philosophy when everybody's down, when their chips are down during the crisis or the emergency. And so you're not getting a direct reporting a lot of times. You're getting like the commentary of how the person feels, and he's philosophically reflecting on that we just got attacked or there was a major storm and people were crippled or something like that. So you might get a sermon, even though you really don't want a sermon. You would rather have the information. So about the crisis and the level of suffering and the damage and what is going to be the repair times and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not easy to navigate the radio realm because there's so many bandwidths and different channels. You know, I guess I could just go to like in Houston, I suppose if there's another winter storm that knocks out the Texas power grid or Hurricane Beryl crippled Houston last year in July for 7 days. I suppose I could use radio AM 740, I guess. That would be the dial I would tune into. I have a radio flashlight, by the way. It's my parents used to smoke a lot back in the day. Smoke. Before the whistleblower or the insider came out, or whatever it was with Russell Crowe that told people that the tobacco companies, RJ Reynolds, were spiking the cigarettes with nicotine to keep everybody addicted, even though they knew it was dangerously unhealthy. So Marlboro used to give its customers, if you saved enough points, like adventure gear shit, like stoves and bags and and one of the items they were able to save up to get with so many, I guess, smoke or cancer points or whatever, smoke points. They got one of my favorite things to get through a storm, which is my flashlight radio. And it even has, you can get your earbuds and connect to it and jam out. If you have no power, you can still, as long as it's got the battery, you can, no matter what the crises, typically you can just, listen to some tunes and like old school radio fashion. Even though it's primitive and old school, like the primitive radio gods, it is comforting in a crisis to listen to humanity, at least in some form. So, like Rush, the Canadian trio Rush, the spirit of the radio lives on. Radio Gaga, Queen. Yeah, I don't think radio is ever going away. It's just, you would rather have like the 6G AGI quantum supreme network, or the most advanced shit that you can get. But when the shit hits the fan and we're not back to the dark ages because of a storm or an asteroid or geopolitical problems, then you might have to rely on radio, which is, I wouldn't dare call it simple technology, but it's definitely not the most advanced we got. It's just, if you have to wander through a dark cave, you might have to light a match. That's just how it is to survive. Less foamage, the foamometry here of the beer. We're into the foamometry. The foamometry. Is that a exact geometric beer equation? What we have to do is prepare for the foamometry. Or they call it the head, right? The head. Yeah. No, when I went to Klein High School, it wasn't like you see in the movies or you see in the news, where it's like really hot chicks that are horny. You know what I mean? Like usually when you see on the news the high schoolers, there's like hot young like 22-year-old babes that are the high school teachers, and they have nice racks and they're fucking banging shit. And in the high school or the middle school, that's not what my high school experience was like. I wish that's what it was like, but that's not what it was like at all. It wasn't Babe City. It wasn't Titty City. It was not hot for teacher. It was the exact opposite. It was fucking hags. It was old hags from like the 1960s when I attended Klein High School in the late 1990s. It was just a hag fest. It was older. Yeah, they were horny. They were looking at the young guys, but they were not young women. They were all older cougar. Well, they weren't even cougars. They weren't even milfs. They were like mature, like really elder women. They had been working at Klein High School since, some of them had really long tenures. I mean, they'd been working there since probably the 1960s, one of the old remodels. And I think the original Klein High School that I attended was first built in like something, I don't know, way back in the day, like back in the time of the rise of Hitler, 1933 or something. I don't think it was older. I'm not sure if it was in the late 1890s. I knew it was at least built by 1933. So Actually, I could fact check that right now. Well, your photographic memory is decent. It's not always 130% accurate. Oh, my photographic memory is accurate. It's not 1933. It's Hitler, 1938. All we need is some breathing room. Hitler, 1938, like Captain Kirk from Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. He tells the Klingon, he goes, Hitler on Earth, 1938. All we need is some breathing room. But the German word for breathing room is Liegen something. Hold on, I'll figure that out too. The German word for breathing room is, I was about to say Leben, but it's like Lebensraum. Lebensraum, breathing room. So the idea of breathing room is Adolf Hitler, breathing room people, the Nazis. And so, yeah, they don't actually say Lebensraum in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. What the what the Klingon commander Chang, played by Christopher Plummer, says to William Shatner as Captain Kirk, he says, "All we need is the Klingon." He's talking about the Klingons in the Federation. He said, "All we need is some breathing room." And then Captain Kirk says, "Earth, Hitler, 1938." So either you got the reference or you didn't. Now, if you studied more World War II history, you would know that breathing room, that's a reference to Hitler. Lebensraum meant breathing room in German. And if you studied your history enough, you knew that meant that Hitler meant breathing room for the German people. So he had to conquer Europe and all his enemies because the German people needed more land to become the great Aryan empire to last 1,000 years. So Klein High School was established in 1938. I know originally I said that in 1933 Hitler rose to power. 1938, I would say he was already working onto disabling the Weimar Republic, the puppet, weak government that was installed after the colossal failure of World War One. I guess World War One was a tragedy for the world. So, in a lot of ways, horrifying warfare, but the horrors wouldn't stop there. The horrors were only beginning, I'm afraid. If man gets more advanced technology, then he's going to, create more advanced weapons. There's going to be advanced suffering and advanced death for mankind. It's not going to end well, is what I'm saying. It's just going to get progressively. You can evolve technology, but you can also evolve in war and death, and that's not going to look pretty. If you can evolve beyond the horrors of World War One or World War Two, you're not really evolving, I guess. So that's bad. And there's no limit to technology. I know. They say that there's laws. I know that scientists say that there's certain laws that limit the advance of technology. I know that there are physical laws that limit it, but there's no mental laws that limit technology. I know that there's laws that limit the limits. There are rules in a universe that beings have to follow. There are rules, specific rules, the speed of light, Planck's constant, pi, Euler's, atomic structure, Einstein's theory of relativity. But just because there are rules doesn't mean they cannot be bent or broken, or that another technology cannot make the old rules null. It doesn't mean that because there's a speed of light that man can never go there, that man can never achieve the speed of light. It just means there's an obstacle, and that's the obstacle. Life can only be difficult, but I think rarely is it impossible with technological evolution. I don't really think there's any limits to what could be created, either for good or for ill. With imagination, with the power of the mind, I think there are no limits, unfortunately. And I say that with a certain sadness, because if there are no limits, that means there's no limits to terror or horror either. There's no limits to perverse and immoral weaponry and god-awful weaponry, as if it wasn't bad enough already. It could always get worse. That's what bothers me about technological growth, is that it can also exponentially doom us to a techno-feudalistic prison in which there is no escape, because we'll be imprisoned by the machines like the Matrix. So it is also dangerous as well. In a race for power, I cannot trust that scientists will do the right and moral thing and be on the same page. Can you trust that the other man is on the same page? Can you trust that the man in your neighborhood is on the same page as you? Can you really trust that if you believe in America and American independence and freedom and ingenuity, that those people in your own neighborhood believe in those same values? Can you trust that if you work hard, that your other brethren are going to work just as hard or try to? There's no guarantees. Yeah, I know that's kind of depressing, but it's a sober reality, even though I'm drinking beer. But I never thought there was any limits in science. But there should be safeguards. There should be safety rails. There should be seatbelts to protect us all, to protect all men and women, to protect all mankind, every nation, every person, from the horrors of out of control technology and the negative effects of what it could do to us. It is time for peace. It is time for peace. Period. And without peace, there'll be oblivion. I can imagine all sorts of weapons, not just because I read a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, and because I read a lot of scientific papers, but when you analyze so much technology, you realize the drive of the human brain, of the spirit of humanity. You realize there's no stopping it. It is it's too strong, the pull, the black hole to the singularity. There's too much drive to do it, to make it happen. People work so hard to do what people think is impossible. And they continue to soldier on, whether it's enemies, adversaries, or ourselves. But we need to contemplate in this race for power and evolved technology whether we should create whatever we're imagining. We should beware of the power of our minds. We should take heed to how powerful it is. And we should take inventory. We should reflect and think of Almighty God in this process. And we should think about the morality of what we're embarking on next, and whether it's good and just, and whether we should be doing it or not. And I can't say that all governments and all people are morally characterizing the future of technology in this way. And it's very disturbing to think about that aspect. In a world of novelists, it's scary to think that we're not on the same page a lot of times. That's really bad for the humankind, for the human race, for the survival of the people of Earth. We must at least agree to be on the same page, at least for certain things. We could argue about specifics, but there must be a main drive to protect mankind itself. Otherwise, we are finished. Scared is not really what I am. It's something more like worried. That's it. It's not scared. It's not frightened. It's concerned. It's worried. That's what it is. As a creative person, you know how powerful the mind can be. And that same power is in the wrong hands, then our race is doomed, even before it even begins. Of course, we cannot let this be our fate. Yeah, I can imagine dreadful weapons. But should I? But should I? It's unethical to do so. Because you can dream it or think it doesn't mean it should become real or it should ever be developed. So, yes, I imagine a great many things. The power of the human imagination is beyond imagination itself. But it doesn't mean the power of the human mind should always be employed to create suffering or immense weaponry. It doesn't mean it should be employed to constitute terror. Our minds are too powerful. They're in a universe. God, people, dead and undead. The consciousness is connected through the brain electrical waves. The spirits, past, future, and present, they're all communicating to each other in the universal brain at the same time. Well, that's theorem, that the universe was a brain. Do I believe in that theorem? I study theorems and conjectures. Doesn't mean I always believe it's true. I just entertain it because it's fun to talk about. Not just on a Joe Rogan podcast, not just with my buddies, but because it's fun to conjecture about reality and the nature of reality. Because that's fun to do that. It's fun. It's fun when my stepfather quotes his Bible verse. It's fun when I watch PBS Space Time videos. It's fun when I watch Einstein videos. It's fun when I do any of that. It's fun because that's fun, knowing, trying to understand something that's so amazingly complex that it baffles the mind and it distorts people's views of reality. And it's fun to talk about theology, science, technology. All these topics are interesting, and we keep talking about them because they're very interesting, obviously. Keep on going. So, the reason we have these conversations is because they're fun. If these conversations were not fun, now I might roll my eyes if you said to me, you said, "Oh, do you think it's the Matrix? Do you think it's Construct? Do you think reality is Simulation City? Sim City?" Yeah, I used to play that game on PlayStation, right? Sim City. You make your own little digital family and stuff, and that's a weird, kind of a creepy game, actually. But it was fun. Sim City. That shit's fun. What was that? PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3? That shit was a riot, dude. That shit was fucking fun as fuck. But, it raises existential, philosophical, theological question. Is God creating a matrix? Or what did my friend Eric said, the electrical engineer from Harvard? He would tell me, he would say, I believe in the clockmaker theory of God, that he set events into motion and then left and retired. And so I was like, oh, okay. So you're saying that God is not, he doesn't care what happens to mankind at this point. You're saying that's the clockmaker theory, that he set events into motion like the Big Bang and the creation of the universe and the human race. But there was no plan, like he doesn't monitor, he doesn't care. It's just like what he's trying to say is that God is a deadbeat dad. He's the dad that he fucks the chick and he knocks her up, but then he leaves. He doesn't pay any money or alimony or anything. So I guess that's what he meant by clockmaker theory. A God that just creates everything and then he leaves. But where does he leave to, and who is God? I guess one of the most potent questions in the Bible is what? At first there was darkness, then there was a light. And it was God, and he created the universe. But a deeper question would be, who is God? Why are there lights? Why are there darknesses? Why would they create universes, and why would they create civilizations? Because they're lonely gods? Or, I mean, what is the particular... Anyways, that's like a excellent question, like, who is God? And what is the purpose of God? Don't tell me that God was just lonely and he got on Snapchat one night. I'd like it. I would like God to be a lot more complex than that, a lot more nuanced, a lot more detailed. I hated that God is such a vacuous concept. It's not detailed who is God and what he's doing. And maybe I'd be disappointed if there was a readout of God. What if you did know everything? You would probably be bored. Then there would be no suspense. You watch the movie because you're like, okay, who killed John? All right. So we believe in religion and science because we don't know what the endpoint's going to be. So it's exciting for us. Like having random conversations with people, our loved ones, our buddies, our coworkers, people that we meet in life. It's fascinating because we don't know how the story's going to end. It could be horrible dystopia, or it could be the best thing. It could be the most loving, most peaceful, most eternal planet of people that you could ever imagine. But we keep going, we keep fighting because we want to see what the end of the story is. Because we're curious creatures, human beings, and we keep fighting for it, and we'll always fight for it. So we keep on striving for it, even though we don't know what it's going to be, what it is, what it's going to look like. We still keep, year after year, day after day, month after month, second after second, we keep plugging and working for it. But we don't know how it's going to end up, ultimately. Ooh. Had to go refill the beverage. The beverage. So Albert Einstein wanted to illuminate the theories of the universe, impart that knowledge to mankind. Yeah. Show the space-time, special relativity, and other equations. Oh, I can smoke in here? Oh, okay. Is it going to filter out? Or?
It'll filter out.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Oh, no, I'll get that.
I gotta save that box.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. I'm not going to burn it. All right, I'll be up later. Thanks. All right, love you. Thanks. Oh, love you. You're great. Don't worry. As long as it doesn't cause a problem. All right, love you.
It's okay.
Okay, thanks.
Anyway, I got baby girl.
Yeah.
Tula's been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But she can see. She's
Yeah.
happy.
Oh, yeah.
Bella too.
Tula's a visual girl. Oh, I just knocked the key. I get it now.
What key?
Key to the file cabinet. I get it. Oh.
Oh, crap.
What?
You didn't break it, did you?
No, I didn't. What are you doing? No. You're just going to mess up stuff.
Okay.
Just don't worry. I'll get it. You cause shenanigans in here. Thank you.
Welcome.
OCD. It's called obsessive compulsive disorder. Yeah. Do women just have obsessive compulsive disorder? And hoarding? I think that's I think
I'm sorry. I have one
Yeah.
question to ask.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you turn on the computer upstairs?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's ready to go for that. But I didn't set up the tunes. You just got to click on the Google Chrome, and then click on, the thing, and it goes to YouTube.
Oh, could you do that for me?
Okay.
I don't know how to do it.
Oh, you know how to do the Google?
No, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'll come over there to do that. That's fine.
You'll come and do it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's a reasonable request.
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, yeah, I'll set up the tunes.
Yeah. I need her out.
Holmes. Sorry, there's some shit going on there. The freak storm was freaky. Like super freak, super freak, super freaky. How's the storm like super freak, super freak, super freaky? Well, what's the problem with being smart? Is that people are always asking you how to be smart. So if you're smart and people know you're smart, they're like, hey, how do I do that? Ask AI, motherfucker. Don't ask me. Get the fuck out of here. Ask AI, motherfucker. Don't ask Google, motherfucker. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. I'm getting too old for this, guys. Go ask fucking Android, dog. Go ask C3PO, nigga. I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. Go ask God what's going on. Go get in the Bible or something, dude. Ask me what the fuck is happening. Shit. Go ask the Oracle of Delphi. Go ask a question to anybody else but me. I'm not the fucking encyclopedia man. I'm not Google man. Leave me alone. You know, I just want to chill. Just have a fucking beer. Fucking chill out. You know? I don't know. I know everybody's trying to ask me all the questions. I don't have all the answers. Sorry. You have to look elsewhere. Go to college. Go to school. Go take a course. Go do anything but ask me what's going on here. I don't know. Okay? That's humility, and wisdom is that you don't know. That's supposed to be humility. I don't know. And maybe society's not going to take that answer. But sometimes that's all I got. Is life a simulation of God? I don't know. It could be. Sure. We could entertain all possibilities. Why should we close our minds? But I don't have the answer, though. We can only just do conjecture and theory a lot of times. Okay, tonight there's a bad storm. It's freakish. It's wild. There's a lot of variables here. The power grid is really weak towards wind damage. It cannot handle wind disturbances, knocks over lines of electricity. So it's a freak storm. I don't know what it's going to do. That's chaos. That's a chaotic system. I can't predict it. It is what it is. The power could stay on. The wind could die down. The wind could accelerate and knock out power. I have no idea what it's going to... I cannot predict the specific factors of weather that will cause harm to the electrical grid tonight. I am not God. I am just a human being. A flawed biological human being. Could knock out the power. Again. I hear the storm roaring. Kind of. The wind's blowing everywhere. There's no pattern to it. It's just up and down, left and right. There's no pattern. There's no direction to it. The pattern there is no pattern. It's just wild. It's weather. Even with computer models as advanced as they are today, I can't say what's going to happen in the next with any certainty. Like scientists, meteorologists cannot say when there's a certain tornado going to happen in a certain area. They can't predict it. They can simulate on computer models conditions and their educations, but they can't tell you what's going to happen. So not the appropriate man cave here. Though it is unsafe to smoke around so many chemicals. I do know that is a fact. So I'm going to put out the cigarette and not smoke here again because there's a lot of reactive chemicals in the garage. So for safety reasons, I'm going to put this out. For the reason of safety. And not smoke down here again. All I see is chemicals everywhere. Chemicals, chemicals, chemicals. Bleach. Clorox. Armor All. Windshield. Wax. Polish. Grout. So, no more smoking in here. No more smoking for a while. Put it out. The fire on. Put on the ground. Where's the do there? I'll react chemical. Yeah. Ew. Oh, yeah. Do some kind of pentatonics. It's kind of pentatonic scale in the pentatonic matrix. Yeah, some people might say, why bring a guitar to the garage? Why not bring guitar to garage? Is my question. Why not? Some people might say, why are you bringing a guitar to the garage? why not bring guitar to garage? So there's also a question that people must consider. To be or not to be, that is the question that preoccupies our existence. Why? Like the bard William Shakespeare from the old country, United Kingdom. Yeah. So people are so enamored that people in this country fought for freedom. And they stood up and they rose up against tyranny time after time again. And Europe is amazed by America, once again, for its ability to stand up against tyranny and to fight back. And Europe seems crippled and paralyzed. Even those in my old country, my ancient ancestors in Anglo-Saxons in England, and my relatives from Ireland, they seem paralyzed. My theory being is that it's easier to take over islands than it is to take over America. Even the most leftist, tyrannical communist finds it difficult to take over America because we resist and we fight back against tyranny. We always have, we always will. So, yeah. What does the world find it so hard to control America? What's a big country? And in big countries, dreams stay with you like a lover's voice from the mountainside. Stay alive. I'm not trying to grow flowers in the desert. I could live and breathe. I see the sun in wintertime. In a big country, dreams stay with you like a lover's voice on the mountainside. So, tyrannical and satanic forces find it hard to conquer America, as we're a land of opportunities and dreams and great beliefs. That's why they find it hard to conquer us. That's why tyrannical systems, tyrannical countries, communists, Marxists, they find it so difficult to conquer America because we are Americans. If the United States was at peril, I fight alongside those from Maine and New York. If the United States is in danger, people from Michigan and New York and Texas all band together to fight, to defend our country, to defend our home. We are Americans, period. All our 50 states plus and all our allies, we are Americans. I fight along New York with Xander the Commander from the Bronx. I fought alongside the Californians, the Washingtonians, Oregonians. I fight alongside all my brethren because we are Americans, as Ronald Reagan once famously said. We come to each other's aid because we are Americans. This is our country. Just because we have a disagreement with one of our states does not mean that we go to war with that state. When America is in peril, we all join together. Period. Sure, if I go to New York, they might say, oh, you're from Texas. But they take me in as an American. They say, oh, this guy's from Texas, but he's an American. If I go to Washington, D.C., Jamal, John, they all take me in. They said, this guy is one of us. If I go to Arizona, they say, I'm one of you. If I go to California, they say, you're one of us. If I go to Washington or Oregon, they say, you are one of us. If I go to Montana, if I go to Idaho, if I go to Nevada, if I go anywhere in this country, they claim me for them, and I claim them for me. Almost always, without exception. So we are American citizens. We are brothers and sisters of the United States. We are the greatest country that the world has ever known in Western civilization. We got each other's backs. Period. They said I was you're one of us. So I said, I'm one of you. So we are e pluribus unum. We are out of many one. The United States of America credo. That's the founding principle of America is e pluribus unum, out of many one. This is the code we live by. This is the code we honor. This is the code we live and die for. The code of America. The code of e pluribus unum on the back of our dollars. Out of many, one. And out of one, many. So we are one, people. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. We're all one people. Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, North Dakota, South Dakota. I can name all the states. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Delaware, Pennsylvania. We're still one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That is our basic unifying bond, and it will never be broken. We are a nation that has survived for almost 250 years, and we will survive and endure for another 250 plus more. We will survive and endure for many times to come. Sure, we face challenges, as any human civilization faces challenges, but we will endure and we will break the backs of our oppressors and those evil, immoral people. We'll have freedom, justice, liberty, without a doubt. We'll have unity and strength. No, the United Kingdom, our forebears, our ancestors, some of us, and Ireland, some of our ancestors, face a great peril because Europe they don't have our rights or liberties or our Bill of Rights or our Constitution. They are flailing under attack by tyrannical, evil, George Soros, satanic forces, and they're enslaved. As it is easier to enslave an island than it is to enslave the United States of America. To enslave the United States of America with 50 strong states over an entire continent and beyond is a difficult prospect, even for the most satanic, dark overlord. This is a treacherous concept, even for the most evil, global elite power. This is even treacherous for George Soros to try to control people of the United States of America without resistance. This is problematic even for them, even for the most powerful global elites and satanic worshipers in the planet Earth. Because those here in the United States of America will fight and die for liberty, and we will fight and die for freedom of our people without compromise, without mercy. We will not yield. We will not conform. We will resist as one people against tyrannical elitist aims. And we'll do it cheerfully to protect our nation, our people, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights to the uttermost. So help us God. We never give up on the fight. We've been through too many tragedies of war and beyond. Many problems, many ancient battles. We'll not give up now in our time of triumph. We will not allow a George Orwellian thought police to police our thoughts and our minds. We know the mind and our God, our spirit is the most sacred thing that we could ever hold beyond any money, beyond any bank account, beyond anything. That our rights and our liberties are more important than our possessions. That the rights and the liberties of man are more important to United States citizens than money or power or possessions, that these are not important to us. It is important to have human rights and liberties foremost, that besides God himself, that there are ideals that are worth fighting and dying for, that we will rise to the occasion. Through hardship, we'll show the true strength of the American people to the world. We will not flag or fail or falter in this struggle for liberty, for people, for mankind, and for those of us, the United States. Those leftists and communists trying to sow division, make Civil War movies that don't make any sense. If you made a Civil War movie that made sense, then I would say, oh, that's good. But you made a Civil War movie that didn't even make sense. Texas joins California to fight Washington, D.C.? No, that would almost never happen in reality. But we would not turn our backs on our California brethren or Western brethren. Even we don't make leftist communist films where the United States is torn asunder from the inside out. We don't make movies like that because we don't think it's ever going to happen. It's not realistic. And also, it's stupid. Your grandmother lives in Arkansas. Your grandfather lives in New York. Your cousin lives in Colorado. Your sister lives in Oregon. There's no way we're going to war with each other. We are intertwined. We are one. Your uncle lives in California. We're not going to war with ourselves. That's not. It's possible, but it's not likely. It's just not realistic anymore. It is unrealistic that the left thinks that we're going to go to war over gay, transsexual rights or some shit. Okay. Or fag shit. It's unrealistic that the United States is going to a civil war within itself over gay shit. Gays are free. Transsexuals are free. They're just not allowed to. Men are not allowed to compete in female sports because they're men. Because they're going to beat the shit out of the women. We're not going to allow that or tolerate that. Period. That's not worth fighting for. It never was. I know many gay people working with them in my life. You can dress in drag. Okay? I don't judge you. If a guy wants to put on a dress, I don't give a fuck. Just don't expect that to be my highest value. You know? If a guy wants to be dressed like a woman and drag out, you live in America, drag out. Dude, put on a dress, put on lipstick. Act gay, be a fruit, be a queer. I don't give a fuck. Fucking do it. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. That's not important. Put on a dress, a yellow dress. Put on lipstick. But the minute the drag queen queer is like, Scott, you want to see the guy dressed up like a woman? Oh, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. I put on a dress and I put on lipstick. I'm like, dude, I'm not into that, dude. Good luck. Good luck with that, bro. I appreciate your right to do that, and I feel for you. But that's what you want to do with your life, dude. If you want to put a dude in a fucking dress and put on lipstick and put on fake titties and shit, and have transsexual operations, man, that's what you want to do with your life. That's fine. Just don't include me in that. I don't care about it. It's just like, whatever, dude. It is, your life is whatever you want to create it to be. So I'm not judging. You have the freedom in this country to express yourself and be whoever you want to be. I'm not even trying to judge you for that. I'm just saying you can do whatever you want to do in America. You're free. You're not going to get persecuted. You may not be accepted, but you're not going to be hounded down, you know? So do it. I mean, I don't give a rat's ass, you know, a shit's ass about it. I don't really give, just don't like try to be like, hey, Scott, man, I put on a dress and lipstick the other day and you're a dude. And I'm like, dude, I don't, I don't care about this. You know, this trans queer shit. I mean, it's just, this drag queen shit. I'm like, dude, this androgynous shit. I mean, I don't care. I mean, like, why are you sharing this with me, dude? I don't give a fuck about this. This is not an important concern to me. What is an important concern to me and most Americans is the Chinese Communist Empire trying to take over the world. Now, that's more important to me. It's not a dude that puts on a dress and lipstick. What is important to me is that China is coming to attack us for world global domination. Now, that is actually a concern of mine, you know. So it is a concern of mine that there's men allowed in women's sports. They're doing boxing. And the man beats the fucking holy shit out of the woman. That's a man and a woman are different. They're not the same. They're not same in the strength. So how many women have been able to kick my ass? Not many. Okay. So if women try to kick my ass, they don't really get really far. Because I'm a man, I have upper body strength. A man might try to kick my ass. He could win, but I could beat his ass. But he's not a woman. So even if you're really big, even if you're really strong, come try to beat my ass. I'm a man. I'm going to beat your ass. Now, usually I don't want to use my strength to whip people's ass. But I could if I wanted to. Typically, as a man, I use my strength to change light bulbs, to reach up, to move heavy objects. That's what I normally do. I don't use it to whip men's ass or women's ass. Usually, I use my upper body male strength to help out or do work or do job. Typically, I don't use my upper body male strength to beat the shit out of people or hurt women. I mean, not normally. So, usually, I'm a man, I'm really strong, and women come up to me. They know I'm really strong. So like, okay, help me open this can or this jar, or they know I'm over 6 feet tall, so they're like, okay. So women come up to me and go, oh, they know I'm strong, and I get the jar from the top shelf or whatever. Normally, I just do functions. I'm not trying to hurt people. So normally, I use my male strength to help people out. It's rare occasions that I use it to, beat the shit out of a motherfucker or whatever, or to beat somebody. Yeah. It's a rare occasion that I don't actually have to even do that. Pee-pee time. Yeah. Typically, I use male strength to build stuff. I lift stuff, and I just work real hard. And I open jars and help women, old ladies, and what was it in Arkansas? When I worked at Lowe's Home Improvement, there was a German guy. I always love this. So there was an elderly German guy, and he goes, and I helped lift his stuff in his car, his truck. And he goes, I like you. You're very useful. I like his German accent. He's like, I like you. You're very useful. And really, that made me feel good that with the elderly people of Hot Springs, Arkansas, they said, you're very useful. It feels really good. That I loaded up his truck and he goes, I like you a lot. You're very useful. And you're very useful. I really like your... Yeah. That was funny that there was a German guy in Hot Springs, Arkansas, because most people in Hot Springs, Arkansas are like rednecks, and they're like, they have like hillbilly accents and stuff. I don't know. It's how do I describe it? Houston, Texas lingo is English is very fast, and then when I went to Hot Springs, Arkansas, it's like slowed down. It's like it's still English. It's just like slowed down. Not like it's retarded. It's slow. Like the dialect's slower. So it's like kind of hard to explain, but it's like I don't know. Like today, I'm talking from Houston, Texas, in this particular English, which is a lot faster. And in Hot Springs, Arkansas, they're like, I was like, it's it's a bit slow. It's like the dialect, the language is a bit slower. It's like more. It's not inferior. It's just slow. It's just like a slower. Like the English sounds slower in Arkansas. Like it sounds like downgraded English. It doesn't seem quick. It's not zippy like in the city. I suppose maybe if you grew up in the city and you've been around a lot of city people, that the English is like, pow, pow, pow. Like you got to be fast. If you go to rural parts where they speak English, like everything is like slow and deliberate and everything. Like I don't know. It's not like it's inferior. It's just a slower version of the language that I noticed about the pace of it. It doesn't mean that people in Arkansas are dumb or Kansas or Missouri. It's just that their shit's slower. It's not fast. It's not a fast application of English. So it's kind of like I don't know what I'm doing, but were there sometimes I didn't understand the rednecks? They were like, there were sometimes, in Arkansas that I was like, down, 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 down. And I was like, what the fuck? I could have been in fucking England or something. It was like, the English sometimes was like, no, no, no. And I was like, oh my God. But I just kind of roll with it, dude. So I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. It was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. But, I realized it was slowed down. It was like, and then when I was in Arkansas, like the English was so slowed down, like the redneck English, And then I had to sit through. I was at Lowe's Home Improvement Center, and I'd be in the break room, and there'd be like a girl. She'd be like, the man didn't pay his truck bill. It just sounded like crap. I was like, good God, I'm from Houston, Texas. Like, what is this? And the woman would be like, and they would be gossiping in Arkansasian, and they'd be like, the man don't pay his bill in the truck. It was like a country song. It was like they were like talking in a country song or something. Like, it's like, oh God. Oh God. Why I leave Arkansas? Because it was like, it was like, shit was like, what the fuck? Dude, I'm sorry. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm not saying I'm better than any of the country states. So Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri. That shit was really redneck. And I'm from Texas, and we are rednecks. But that redneck shit was like beyond what I was able to comprehend. That was some fucking crazy rednecks as shit. And I love country people. I love rednecks. But going to Arkansas was like fucking Dukes of Hazzard. That shit was so redneck, I couldn't believe it. Like I thought I was country. I thought I was country. I thought I was redneck. And I was like, no, you're not that redneck. Like, this shit is wild. You know what I mean? This shit's on another level, dude. It's just like this shit's whatever. All right, we out. Ugh. Need to charge the phone before the next storm. Thanks for watching. God bless. Thanks for subbing. Love it. God bless everybody. I know it's difficult times with all the technological, geopolitical change and all that. Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, well, life is rough. Buckle up. God bless and best of success. Peace.